traders. This is Rev and Wood. I go by SageFT. You're watching the live trading desk review and Rev-Up for the week beginning and ending for the date of October 12th, 2025. Today's gonna be a little bit different. Instead of showing a bunch of trades, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about the notes that I got from my data collection period last week, where I was in the penalty box because I'm trading absolutely horrific, right? So when I trade horrifically, what I do is I try to go back to the basics. Going back to the basics means going back to step one. Okay, it means go back either into the simulator or into a prop firm account and minimize the risk, right? So my risk was maximized at a $50 reset. I did 3 resets. So $150. Full disclosure was my loss for the week. Full disclosure, I'm in the penalty box. Okay, but I don't trade in the sim. I want some sort of ability to track it, right? Okay, so now having to reset the $250,000 Apex account 3 times was a very, very great way for me. Not that I did it on purpose, right? But I gathered a lot of data, and what I want to show you is, instead of saying, oh, it was what's on the chart and the trades just didn't work. Okay, like right here where I was long and it was looking good, getting through resistance, right? And then smoked it. Look, there's me going right down the river. Right now, that was great data. Okay, great information. This week, I was able to tune in and tune up my charts. This week, I was able to do some really, really deep diving into what happened. Okay, now, if you're ready, I'm going to show you what happened. All right, what happened was I had a lapse of discipline. Right. And when I have a lapse of discipline, there's usually 2 of 3 deficiencies, right? And if we look at the deficiencies, now notice that I have my in red. Okay, that's me. This is me. We're talking about my deficiencies that I had last week and that I've had over the last 18 months. With this page right here is showing you over the last 18 months, kind of how I've gone off the process track, right? And so what I did last week is, hey, I could have traded 1,000 times better. Absolutely, I could have traded 1,000 times better. But for some reason, I was a knucklehead. Now it cost me $150, right? Not 15,000, 30,000, nothing like that. Full disclosure, okay? There's no smoke and mirrors here. When I'm trading like doo-doo, you're going to see me trading in the props, all right? Because I understand how risk works. The highest risk is you not following your plan, not taking 10 stop outs in a row, following your plan. It's when you go off the rails. Well, it's me. You guys don't go off the rails, never. You guys never go off the rails. I'm going to speak personally. If I say you, I apologize. I mean me. Now, okay, so the 3 deficiencies in anyone's trading are a lack of information, a lack of patience, and a lack of self-control. Okay, so now here's the deal. I'm going to fully own these 2 right here. Now, having a lack of information is not me. I have the information, but what information was I missing? I'm so glad you asked. What it was is everything off the screen. Okay, because what I want to remind you of is the screen is a mirror. What my beliefs are about myself in the market are what I see in the charts. One red candlestick can mean one thing to me and can mean something different to another person. Okay, so now what am I projecting upon the market? Well, here's the deal. What you're dealing with outside of trading and what you bring into the trading floor or your trading terminal, okay, is what you're going to project onto the market. So now look, I had a lack of discipline. Not anymore. Okay, my lack of discipline, right? When I think of discipline, my discipline, this is mine. All right. Okay, do I follow the process? My process that I have created? Okay, last week, absolutely not. I did not. I absolutely did not follow the process that I have put in place. Okay, am I focused? Okay, you guys could see my focus level. It was terrible. I gave it a D-, right? Okay, and then do I have patience? Okay, and how's my execution, right? Because the way that we want to look at this, right, is, okay, the process can be several things, okay? Your process can be your trading plan. Okay, it can be your sleeping schedule. Okay, it can be anything as much as your meditations. You guys are gonna watch me spell this wrong live, right? Meditations. See? Okay, and then any etc. Okay, now what we want to look at is when we think about being focused, what are some things that being focused? Okay, no distractions. Okay, prepared. Okay, you have the correct surroundings. Okay, and you have planned, planned ... right? Whatever you want to put in there. Okay, so now the next one. Do I have patience? I don't think there's a lot to say about this one, right? Oh, no, truly there is. Let's break this down like Evander Holyfield, right? Okay, do I have patience? Now, this one, if you think about it, right? Patience to enter, okay, to exit at target, okay. What else? Okay, to move my stop correctly. Ooh, look what I did. Look what I did. I tried to not own this. Look at this. Watch. We have to fix what we're typing. I'm doing it just like you guys are doing it, and just like I show you guys what to do. Just like I show you guys what to do, right? If you're wondering, well, what does this guy actually show? If I pay him to coach this guy, this stuff, right? You got to break this down. You have to kill the cycle, right? And I'm going to show you how to kill the cycle here in a second. How I'm going to kill the cycle. You'll see it. Okay. And then how's my execution, right? Execution to what? Enter, exit, etc. How whatever execution means to you. Okay. So now, how do we fix that? How do we fix all of this? Ready? Boom. Right there. Repetitions. Now, the one thing that I'm going to show you one-on-one is how to use the word repetitions to your advantage, right? That's the little secret sauce, right? I'm going to give you a hint. It's something you learned in 7th grade. That is what I have done. That is what is going to send me to the next level. Now, remember, you have to go through things to go through change, right? When I used to snowboard, right, and I would just ride around and not fall, I was never progressing, not the way that I needed to, right? So once I started hooking myself off of stuff, not worrying about falling down, I leveled up. Now, there's one more that I want to put in here. No, it's right here. Okay, lack of information. How do we fix that? First one, lack of information. How do we fix that? Yes, we have the answer for that, right? That one is something that's coached, right? It's talked about all the time. Now, my lack of patience, okay? Fixed by finding the underlying causes. Okay, lack of self-control, the need to be right. Again, fixed by finding the underlying causes, plausibly with a therapist. Yeah, we're talking about trading, Rev. What the hell? No. Right? Now, the way that everything else is fixed, including self-control, right, is through having the correct data, right, to getting enough information through repetitions. The only way we learn muscle memory, okay, the only way your muscle grows more, gets stronger, is through repetition, right? So that's my review, right? We don't need to review what happened. You guys saw it. You can watch the VOD. I absolutely got smoked like a pack of cigarettes. No matter what. Now, let's get into what the hell we think is going on next week. All right, what do I think is going to happen next week? Well, holy sheep shit and Shihola, folks, we've got just this big block to work with right here. This one, let's just get busy, people. Here's our block. So now, the first level we're watching is right here. Okay, so notice there's the midline, okay, midline. You're going to watch the highs, you're going to watch the lows, right? We closed at the lows, all right? So now, if we get through this, right now, here's the deal. Sunday night, we could open up down here. Okay, we could open up down here and just go straight like this. I'm not saying we're going to, but we could, right? Okay, we could also open up here. We could also go up like this and come down. We could also just go straight down. Everything's kind of drawn out for us. There's not a whole lot to think about. If we move to all-time highs, there's that many more people that are stuck, right? But what we want to do is we want to look at the girth of this thing and the volume. Okay, so remember, there's a study called volume spread analysis. Effort, which is your volume, versus result. Okay, now that is a massive down in relation to any other bar that's behind us. Okay, so if we just take this square and we move it, right? Let's move the square. Let's put it near this. Massive. So now let's look at here, and it's going to go straight down. Well, what if it does this? What if it, this one here? Oh, we don't know. Okay, we don't want to say that's, stock market's done. What if someone finds value right down here? Okay, what if they don't? All right, the way that we're going to trade it, and the way that I'm going to trade it is in process, right? If we go back to this, right? If we go back to this, my deficiency is lack of information. Well, I now have information and the data. Patience is fixed, and the lack of self-control need to be right. All right, that's fixed, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to follow the process. I'm going to stay focused. I'm going to have patience. And I'm going to I'm going to execute correctly. Now, the one thing I want to talk about, executing correctly. Okay, so now, let's take the need to be right here for just a second. Let's put it into its own little bracket here. Okay, and what we want to do is we want to bracket in moving stops too quickly. Okay, which would also be, okay, you want to remove that, okay? And the only way to remove that is having enough information through repetitions. All right, folks, that's going to do it for me. We're watching the volume. We're going to watch and see if we get a huge spike in volume again, okay, like these pairs here, okay, or is this a one-off event? I'll see everybody in the morning. Good night.